And Aniqa Nawabi is newly the executive director of the Muslim Community Network. She brings nearly a decade of experience in nonprofit management and policy, and previously worked at Shia Community Development Corporation that works on housing and immigrant rights for the South Asian community in New York City. She was an assistant research scholar at NYU and has worked on international development projects in Afghanistan. She's an immigrant from Bangladesh and has grown up as an Muslim American teenager in Queens, New York, and saw firsthand the experiences of Muslim communities.
Thank you for inviting me to be here. Thank you, Gloria. That was really wonderful to hear from all of our panelists. So my name is Aniqa. I just started in my new position back in October of 2018. And I'm going to start off with a little story to share with you. So when September 11th happened, I remember very clearly that day. I was in high school at that time. You can now guess my age, but it's okay. I was in my law class, and I started hearing the mic saying, calling out families and children actually to come to the auditorium. And I was like, oh, we're wondering what's happening. And the children were just being picked up by their families to be taken home. And I was like, oh no, my parents are not gonna come pick me up. I'm just gonna stay here and everything. But eventually my parents also came, and I was so surprised that I was also taken out of class, and I was like, what's happening? It was kind of a time of consternation, but then my brother and my mom came and said, oh, there's something happening and we're scared, let's just go home. So that was my first initial orientation to what was happening on September 11th. And then after that, coming from a Muslim family, we all know that we felt tremendous, solidarity with the families, with all the firefighters and the first responders who were, going after this. And just all I could hear in our community and our family conversations were just, how do we help? How do we, help the families and so forth? So, fast forward, you have, after that, the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, and then the rhetoric really starts picking up after that in terms of the Islamophobia. Studies will show you that there's an entire industry that has evolved out of profiting out of making Islam look bad and so forth. So going through college, I did a lot of anti-war organizing at that point, because I just felt like that, and this is one of the challenges we're facing, is that our narrative as Muslims in America is just being kind of hijacked by very loud people who have control over the media. So I just always felt that, as Muslims, we have to bring our narrative out. We have to change and help shape that narrative. So how is, just a little to tell you what MCN is doing. So 1 in 4 Muslim children face bullying in the United States. So, I'm a new parent as well now. I have 2 young children, and I know that my future, my children's future is in this country, and I have to tell you how great this country has been for my family, for my parents, for my uncles and aunts. So I definitely see a stake for us here. But how do we make this country more inclusive and a safe space for my children, and of course for the children of many Muslim families? So MCN, we do diversity education workshops in schools, high schools, elementary schools, and right now we're just in New York City, but we want to basically end the bullying of Muslim children in schools. We go into the school, we do presentations on what Islam is and so forth. And let me tell you just some of the stories that have been coming up. Not a lot, but on a few occasions, teachers have been teaching the subject of Islam from the starting point of women's oppression or through terrorism, through the portrayal of ISIS or Al-Qaeda. Now, it's not I think it's a matter of what perspective you're teaching the subject on. So we put a different perspective on Islam. We start from the perspective of the contributions that Muslims have made to civilization, starting from math, from universities. The whole modern concept of hospitals was founded by the Muslim and Islamic civilization. So those are the narratives that are being drowned out. And our mission with MCN, the Muslim Community Network, is to bring about those narratives, to provide services to Muslim children and families who face bullying, to ensure that we prevent it by educating educators, policymakers, and children, adults about what Islam is, who we are as Muslims, and kind of the contributions we've been making. Dr. Sara, I know you had also asked about the challenges we're facing. So, everything from the Muslim travel ban to the young Afghan who was killed in Indiana just last week over again. These are just because they're compounded by the narratives that are being portrayed in the media and so forth. The one that I very clearly remember, like the Chapel Hill killings of the 3 Muslim students in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the Patriot Act. A lot of my family cousins, they wear hijabs and they have faced discrimination against that. Also, a lot of young Muslim girls who wear the hijab in schools have had their hijab snatched off of them. And this is by students, who are, again, they're hearing exactly just what's happening in the media and they're reacting. So just what are challenges? Our challenge is that our narrative is not being heard loud enough, and the solution is to educate, and educate, which is part of MCN's mission, and to make sure we're, as a Muslim community, writing op-eds. We are partnering with institutions like the 9/11 Families for Peaceful Tomorrows to do dialogue and to be on the table, to make sure we're on the table when it comes to policies that are being made on our communities and so forth. So that's all. Thank you.